we're going to go ahead and jump into the review again in case I missed you before. Welcome. Vaughn, I just saw you there. Vaughn the Stampede, welcome to stream. But in case I missed anyone else, welcome, guys. Hope you're having a very nice Monday evening. Hopefully I can entertain you for the next few hours. But as I said, first thing in the docket chat is Van Helsing. Now, how many have you guys seen Stephen Sommers' 2004 classic chat, Van Helsing? Matter of fact, I saw this in the theater when it came out. This is when everyone was high on Hugh Jackman. I understand why. He just did X-Men, just did X2 the previous year. And so he was kind of like one of the big, blockbuster action stars. People just wanted to put him in their projects. And I could kind of see why, because of the success of X-Men. I was like, well, Van Helsing, Monster Hunter, that sounds great. Didn't really work out. But I can understand why he was attracted to the project in the first place. Ronnie, welcome to stream. Good to see you. I even see that movie back in 2004. Kate Beckinsale was coming in hot off. Yeah, exactly. So again, she's like, hey, Underworld's been a huge success for me, fighting vampires, fighting werewolves. I have experience at that. Now let's just get a little, go back in the past a few decades. Because it takes place like the 1880s, I believe, right? Yes, it does. So a good, a little over 100 years, over a century. She's like, I got the experience. The man, I watch Van Helsing plenty of times, but it doesn't mean I love it. Interesting. Literally never, but I've seen the movie. Stan Helsing was terrible. I'm not familiar with that one. Also, yep, saw in the theaters just like I did. Trying to shoot Douglas Scott because he did this instead of Wolverine. Yes, that's true. Been years since I last saw Beckinsale. Okay, I'll tell you this, chat. There's a lot of pretty people in this movie. Kate Beckinsale is one of those people, but Jesus, they gave her some absolutely terrible material. There are so many times where it's like, hey, we're acting right now, and she just fucking drifts off. And it's not her fault. It's just the direction that she's given. She's supposed to be serious and aloof at the same time, and that's the level she plays it at throughout the entire film, chat. It's like, that's not a great performance. It's hard for me to connect with you, except for your physicality. And again, she looks great, but man, it's hard to have any type of emotional connection with her when she's just staring off into space and reminiscing about her dead family. And it's like, I don't know your dead family, okay? You're not making me like them. So a lot of you guys, so pretty much, some of you have seen it, didn't particularly care for it. A bunch of you saw it in the theater that as I did. Yeah, I'll tell you this, guys. Again, I was at the perfect age to see this kind of movie because I was like obsessed with sci-fi and horror films at the time. Like I was seeing this was during the part of my youth when I was watching things on repeat like Aliens. All the Universal monster movies, all the various spin-off films like, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman and stuff, and all the various sequels that Universal doesn't even like emphasize anymore, So I enjoyed it. I liked all those films. I was like, oh, this is the perfect movie for me. But man, when I saw it, I was just kind of so disappointed by how over-exaggerated everything was. It's like, okay, you have to be, you gotta be a little over-exaggerated because of all the monsters in the films. It's fantasy, sci-fi, so you have to be. But Jesus Christ, the way these actors are just screaming their dialogue at each other and just gyrating the entire time, it kicks you out of it, chat. It becomes so unintentionally funny, and after a while, it's just kind of boring. It's like you almost get anxious watching it. Because it's like things just fall into place for the sake of convenience. Like all the major plot points. There's really no sense of character development of any of the characters. Things are predestined because it's destiny. This is how it is. And they talk about destiny and past lives. Again, it's like, oh, this feels very similar to The Mummy if it was even more over-exaggerated. And lo and behold, chat, it made sense all the years later when I realized it's the same exact director of the first two Mummy films. It's goddamn Stephen Sommers. And so I was like, oh, okay, this felt like the natural evolution, or in this case, de-evolution of those movies. And funny enough, I'm going to give you a little background of the movie before we get into the spoiler details. This was originally intended to be a universe of sorts, where it was going to, I don't know what capacity, Chad. Again, it was very bare bones what they were thinking, but this was going to be in the shared universe with the Mummy films. I don't know if Van Helsing was going to eventually cross over into the Mummy series. Well, you think about it, like this takes place in the 1880s, and the Mummy films take place between the 1920s and 1930s. Van Helsing would be probably very old by the point you get there. At least, 60, 70 or something like that? So, or unless he's like, oh, he's immortal or some shit, which, they kind of pull in this movie. It's like, oh, his werewolf blood. It made him live forever. It's like, okay. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised by that, but that was one of the original intentions to do this big series. But until they did Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, and then they kind of like, let's just reboot everything. And they did the Tom Cruise film that way, as we all know what happened. That was one of the original intentions. The film, it was I don't even know if it was a moderate success. Had a ridiculously high budget, yeah. You could tell because they spent so much on CGI. So many CGI backgrounds and a lot of big sets. You know, but they failed all of these. Like, there is some like really cool sets in the movie, but they have just this layer of CGI thrown on top of them. It almost takes away from the overall horror aesthetic. So I didn't particularly like that. Had a budget of $160 million, chat. Box office $300.3 million. So it was a decent success, but it was destroyed by critics. Critically, it performed very, very poorly. And they wanted to do sequels, but they just never were greenlighted. You know, they thought, well, let's do Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, and we'll see what happens after that. It's like, wait, kaput, chat. So, and I think, honestly, I'll tell you this. I think the Universal monsters at this point, they're probably in better hands, at least for right now. I mean, the Invisible Man's only one movie, but it was like, hey, you're starting out from the basics, relatively low budget, you're telling a good story. You're focusing on the characters, at least a couple of them, and you're just going forward that way. And if they want to connect them, you can, but it's not necessary. I think that's the smart strategy they have right now. But with Van Helsing, chat, they said, fuck that. We want that money, honey. And that's what they had. That's what they wanted to have. But chat, I'll tell you about this. Honestly, like how this movie opens up is really fun. Like in the first, like barely 5 minutes, because like this is so cool. You have a big blockbuster action sci-fi movie, and it starts out in black and white. It's paying homage to the original Universal monster movies of the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and even 50s. I was like, that is so cool. And apparently, Stephen Sommers, he wanted to do this film all in black and white, and the studio said, no, you're not. No, you're not. We'll give you the first 10 minutes, and after that, the next hour 40, it's all going to be in color. And he's like, okay, he capitulates. Which I get it. I understand the studio's concern in that degree. You know, you don't see too many big budget blockbuster action films, nearly $100 or $200 million that are black and white. So I understood why they had some misgivings with that. But this movie starts out as a total homage to a lot of different horror films, particularly Frankenstein, because that's what we're seeing for the first time. We got the villagers, and they're running out there with their pitchforks and torches, and they heard about Victor Frankenstein, chat. Dr. Frankenstein, he's doing all sorts of experiments in Frankenstein Castle, aptly named. And, you know, he's got the lightning, chat, hitting this big old corpse that he's cobbled together from seven different bodies, chat. And he's got Igor saying, I'll help you, master, it's not working. Oh, by the way, chat, this blew my mind. Igor? It's fucking Betty! It's Betty from The Mummy. It's the same actor. I was like, wait a minute. I recognize that voice. I recognize those cowardly antics. Those sarcastic comments. It's goddamn Betty. I was like, yay. I wish he was in the movie more, chat, because I'll tell you what. Betty was so much fun, The Mummy. Again, he was a one-note character. You know what you were getting with him. And apparently the actor, I forget his name. Where is he? Igor. Kevin J. O'Connor. He's like a favorite of Stephen Sommers. Like, Stephen Sommers cast him in like all of his films. Or at least a lot of them at the time. During the 90s and 2000s. Yeah, but I again, it's like seeing him, I was like, wait a minute, that voice, and I saw The Mummy so recently. I was like, oh, it's so cool, Father Stampede, they go the one bitty. Yeah, he is. He's in Deep Rock. I remember him in G.I. Joe. Didn't play Dr. Mind something? Was he in like, play Dr. Anyway, case. He was like Dr. Mind Sweeper or whatever. Damn it, Betty! Rick, what do you want me to do? And he's doing the same fucking thing here, chat. Dr. Frankenstein's like, put him up there. It's like, what do you want me to do? I don't know what this, I can't do that. It's too scary. So I thought that was very funny. And we get through the whole spiel that the original Frankenstein did, where the creature comes alive, and you got Victor going, it's alive, oh God, I know what it's like to be God. It's like all that shit. But Victor's scientific victory, chat, is going to be taken away from him, because he hears the village people, in their cowboy boots and their overalls. They're coming for him, chat. Their short shorts, they're all coming for him. He goes to the window. He sees them all just trying to break down his door, his castle gates. And who does he? He turns around the pack, and who does he fucking see? It's Count Dracula. And Count Dracula's like, okay, this is my time to shine because I'm going to overact for the rest of this scene, not only this scene, but for the entirety of the movie. And everything that he said is done with a shaking motion. And he doesn't blink. He's eyes wide. It's like his head is about to just explode off of his neck, Chad, like off of his body. It's like he's just a bundle of kinetic energy, and it needs to be released. And the only way he could do that is by yelling at everyone he's talking to and doing doing vampire things, or what he thought was vampire things. I don't know if this is the actor, but Jesus, he was given some terrible dialogue, chat, and definitely bad direction to his performance. Again, you could be the most talented actor in the world, but if you have bad writing, if you got a bad script, you got a bad director, or getting bad direction, you can give a shit performance. And perhaps that's what he did here. But my God, like his whole thing is like, Victor, I believed in you. I sponsored your experiments. I gave you all your money. How does he fucking get all this money, Chad? How's Dracula get? I don't know. Did not explain, Chad. Not explain how he got all the money. I gave you this castle. I just happened to have it. I had the deed. I was like, let's give it to that chubby little German man. I'm sure he can create, he needs better resources when he's getting all these cadavers and to make his spongy meat bodies come back to life. And, but he says, like, listen, I don't need you anymore, Victor. It's like, I really don't need you. I just need your wonderful creation at this point. Because, as I said, I want to use him to, I don't understand this, chat. Frankenstein's monster in this movie, he's like the catalyst to bring Dracula's children to life. Because Dracula's undead and his wives are undead, when they have sex, they make a baby, chat. There's vampire babies, but they're born dead. So it's like, but not undead. They're just born dead. Very confusing. I don't understand the logic. And so Dracula said, okay, I need to basically find a way or get a guy to create life, in the absence of God, because Dracula is absent of God. The goddamn cross and everything. He's like, he doesn't like it, chat. And he's like, perfect. I'll then use Frankenstein and plug him in like a battery, chat, and he'll bring all my children to life. Again, the science, bring back a dead guy doesn't make a lot of sense, but at this point, so Frankenstein's he's a AA battery at this point, chat. He's a very thick AA battery. And Victor Frankenstein's like, listen, I don't want to do that, man. I could never use my beautiful baby boy. And this thing looks fucking weird. He's got like a electromagnetic brain, chat, and he's just, but very articulate though, because he instantly knows how to talk. He has a great diction, chat. He has great diction, great grasp of the English language. Like already, it's very weird. It's not like the original film. It's like Frankenstein. That's all he does. Learns some words, chat, but he has a sense of morality. He's not like, he doesn't have an abnormal brain. He has apparently the brain of a goddamn philosopher. Of a man who has a sense of justice and a staunch moral code, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. But, Victor's like, I don't want to use him as a battery to bring your babies to life. And Dracula says, well, that's too fucking bad because I'm going to use them as a battery. Victor's like, I will not allow that. And he stabs Dracula with a sword. And Dracula's like, oh, we're doing this then, huh? And then Dracula just eats him, Chad. He nibbles on his neck. Victor, he doesn't, eat him, but he, doesn't turn him into a vampire either. He just kills him, Jay. Sucks out enough blood. And then he dies. And then Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster. I'm going to call him the monster. I know he can't call him Frankenstein because he's not technically Frankenstein, but the monster, chat, he does not like his dad to get a nommed on. And so he just fucking drop kicks Dracula into a goddamn fireplace and he starts burning alive. And Frankenstein, he just picks up his monster. He just picks up his dad, and he goes out there. Igor's like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here now because I'm going to be very much like Benny from The Mummy. That's all I know. That's all I can do. And so the monster, he follows Igor out, and then the monster's heading towards the windmill, chat, just like in the classic Universal film. It's like, oh, you got the aesthetic, it looks fun, it looks cool. And then Igor, for whatever reason, just says, Dr. Frankenstein! I'm just yelling for no reason. And I guess that maybe it was to alert the villagers. And the villagers like, there he fucking is, let's go get him. And all the villagers, they're chasing Frankenstein's monster, chat. Frankenstein monster, he gets to the windmill, he closes the door. He heads up to the top. Tons of bottles of alcohol and absinthe and stuff. Absinthe is a very disgusting alcohol. I would not drink that, but I don't know why this windmill is just filled with alcohol. Now, it's not very convenient, especially because it's going to be burned down in a hot second. And then the villagers, they all gather around a chat, and the monster, he goes up there, and he's just caressing his father's cheek. And he's like, Father. And he's very emotional moment. And the villagers like, okay, fuck that. We don't like that thing's making us sad. Burn it down! And they start throwing their torches at Frankenstein's monster chat. And Frankenstein's monster's just crying, why? Exactly in that tone. I'm not over-exaggerating. And then that thing just fucking comes down, chat. Frankenstein's monster and Victor Frankenstein himself. And the villagers goes, woo! And then we cut, chat, a year later. But we're not at the windmill. Oh, no, actually, what happens? Also, Dracula and his people, his wives, she has 3 wives. I don't know their names. There's a one with black hair, blonde hair, and blonde hair. Or red hair, excuse me. We got a black, we got a blonde, we got a red. That's what I'm going to call them, chat. Black, blonde, and red. Those are names in the thing. And they fly out the villages, they run away, and Dracula's like, fuck, I probably overreacted. This is the one time where he's like, I shouldn't have been so exaggerated here. Maybe I should have just told Victor, hey man, I'm really impressed with this. Let's just show this. Can you just take him to my castle and stuff? I think that'd be great, but he didn't do that, chat. He underestimated Frankenstein's monster. And so then we cut to a year later, chat, but we were not in the windmill. We're not in Transylvania, where Dr. Victor Frankenstein was doing his experiments. We are now in Paris, chat, and we see Van Helsing himself, the man who was named after the movie. Or the movie was named after the man. It doesn't matter. And, chat, he's got wanted posters around. Apparently, people think he's a murderer, chat. But we still learned he is no murderer. He's a savior in more ways than one. And he hears a scream off in the distance, chat. He's hunting somebody. And he comes upon this girl, possibly a lady of the night, chat. And she's been kind of ripped apart. It's not made clear how she dies. Maybe her neck was snapped. But he finds a burnt-out cigar that has been planted on her chest. It's very disgusting. I don't like that. And he's like, well, that's not good. And he hears some laughing, chat. And it's near the Notre Dame, the church. And he's like, I got to go over there. And so he hustles up there, chat. And he gets into, I guess, the bell tower. And who does he see, chat? It's Mr. Hyde, who sounds exactly like Shrek. He's very Scottish. And he's like, I'm going to eat you, Van Helsing. And Van Helsing's like, that would be rough on the bowels, good sir. I would not go down easy. And they have a bit of a tit-for-tat chat, kind of making fun of each other. And this, again, this kind of shows you how the CGI in this movie has not aged particularly well. Again, it's, at least 16 years old at this point. And that's just the case, Joe. With all these films, like in the early '90s to like mid 2000s, the CGI just doesn't hold up, and it really doesn't for him in this film. Like at the time, I thought, oh, this is such a cool effect. Even when I first saw the movie, it's like, oh, this is cool. I even like this opening part, but it doesn't really work all that well. And then it's like, it doesn't, eventually leads to a fight chat between Van Helsing and Mr. Hyde, and they're wrestling in there. It seems that, Mr. Hyde has the advantage just because of his brute strength and height. He looks like a gorilla. If Shrek was a gorilla, chat, that's what we would have here. He's like a pale pink Shrek gorilla. And so, eventually, Mr. Hyde, he runs in this goddamn bell, and much like Peter Parker in Spider-Man 3, he's like, oh, the sound! He doesn't like the sound, chants, the bells! And Helsing's like, that's a good idea! And then, he goes over there, he's trying to hit the bell more, but Hyde's like, fuck this, and he grabs the bell, chat, and he brings it down on Van Helsing. Van Helsing is dead. No, he's not dead. But then, Mr. Hyde's like, whoo, took care of that problem, but he hears this buzzsaw, chat, because Van Helsing, he's got like these, I don't know what they are. Look, the Predator blade from Predator, chat? They're like a little buzzsaw. They're like little buzzsaws, like from Predator. So he's got those buzzsaw hands, and he hears Van Helsing cutting through the floor. He's like, ah, shit. He lifts up the bell, chat, over his head. He's like, where the hell did he go? He went to the hole. But that was not the case, because he looks up, it's Van Helsing, and he cuts his arm off. And, Mr. Hyde's like, ah, Jesus Christ, what'd you do that for? And the arm turns back into Dr. Jekyll's arm, chat. Because originally, Van Helsing, he's like, I don't want to have to kill you, man. Like, listen, my people, I guess it's the church, chat, the whatever organization that Van Helsing, the Monster Hunters, chat, they're like, we want you to bring Mr. Hyde alive so we can then turn Mr. Hyde back into Dr. Jekyll and learn the ways of his scientific formula. And Van Helsing's like, I'm going to try. But he cut up Mr. Hyde's arm off, and that's not going to go over well. And so Mr. Hyde, he just fucking takes, Van Helsing, he throws him up to a goddamn roof, chat. And it's like, ooh, this is not going to work out well. So they're wrestling up there, and eventually Mr. Hyde, he's like, you're gonna love the view of Paris, Hugh Jackman. It looks what does he say? Spectacular. And he fucking chucks Van Helsing off the roof. Van Helsing's falling, but thankfully, Chad, he's gonna pull a Batman because he also has a grappling hook. A lot of advanced technology for 1888, I guess, at this point. He fires it. It goes through Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde's like, Jesus Christ, this is painful. You know, the little grappling hook comes out of his back, and it's like, ah. And then Helsing, he stops it from falling, even though he would definitely have his arms ripped out, but it doesn't matter. Gravity in human bodies, it just doesn't apply here, chat. This movie lets you get away with a lot. Human bodies are like rubbery foam in this movie, except for plot conveniences. You know, like, you can fucking hit a goddamn tree trunk and fall 20 feet and land on your feet no problem. You don't have any pain. You won't break your ankles or your legs won't collapse in themselves. Except for certain plot elements where you're obligated by the plot to die. We're not at that point yet. And so he stops his fall, but Van Helsing's like, he tries to pull Mr. Hyde down. Mr. Hyde's like, you're not gonna get me. And then we get one of the dumbest deaths in the movie, chat. It's so stupid. Mr. Hyde takes his out, my turn, and he starts running, and he's pulling up Van Helsing, chat, and he fucking trips over the other side of the building, the tower. He doesn't know where the hell he was going, and he just fucking falls through. And, it brings Van Helsing back up. And then Mr. Hyde, he swings into the Notre Dame Cathedral, busts through the stained glass window, busts through the secondary stained glass window, and then he comes out the other side, and for the sake of convenience, chat, in the middle of his fall, turns back into Dr. Jekyll, got a nice little wet slap there, lands on the concrete, on the cobblestone streets of 1888 Paris, chat, and even though there wasn't a single goddamn soul outside before, to you, everyone's scared of Mr. Hyde, all of Paris just walks up. And, they're like, oh, shit, they killed him. There's a dead guy here. And we have this one cop, when he get the line, chat, Van Helsing, you murderer! And Van Helsing's like, I can't win. He was a pink gorilla-esque Shrek before. You people are terrible. And so then, Midori Medicine, welcome back to the stream. And so then, chat, he goes and reports back to Rome, let him know that Mr. Hyde, he didn't make it out, neither did Dr. Jekyll. And he sits in the little confessional booth, chat. And then he talks with the red priest guy from the Mummy 2, the Mummy Returns, chat. Remember that guy who also resurrected Imhotep of Aksamanum, whatever her name was? Also the same actor, except he plays, a cardinal or priest. And he's like, Van Helsing's like, forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. He's like, yeah, you've done a lot of fucking sinning. And he's like, should you swear you're a priest? He's like, I can get away with it. I have a reprieve from God. And Van Helsing's like, listen, I know you send me out to fight these monsters and to bring them back, but it's a little hard to do that, okay? I'm just trying to do my job. And then, chat, we just get an avalanche of exposition. Because we find out the priest, he just begins to tell all Van Helsing's backstory right here. He's like, when we found you on our papal steps 20 years ago, you didn't even know who you were, and you still don't know who you are. We found you with this ring. It doesn't matter, chat. Jesus Christ. When they bring the ring back up again, it's so stupid. This ring and this goddamn necklace around your neck and all that shit. But we gave you purpose. And it's like, if you can at least follow the rules a little bit, we'd appreciate it. And Van Helsing's like, I just want to know who I am. And the priest says, maybe you will. Maybe through subsequent plot conveniences, you will find out who you are. Or maybe not. Maybe not. And that's the crux of his character. Van Helsing, he wants to find out who he is, chat. He wants to learn about his past. He's like, I need to find a way. Like, anytime, he's all about the mission, except when he's like, I want to learn about my past. Tell me about my past. Except when he just stops. Stops wanting to care about that. It's dumb. So then we go into the basement, chat, of the Vatican, and it's just filled with all sorts of people from across the world, and it's a cabal of monster hunters, of politicians, emissaries, chat, diplomats. They're all together. They have the secret society, and this is where all the world powers meet, and they're here to take down monster, chat. And we see it's very James Bond-esque. It's like Q's laboratory in the classic James Bond films, and you see all the gadgets and things. And we're introduced to Carl the Friar, and his whole thing, chat. He says he's the comedic relief. He's the comedic relief in the movie. He says witty one-liners to Van Helsing because he's such a stick in the mud, and then he's horny too. That's a big thing. He's like, well, I can swear if I want. Damn it, I'm just a friar. I want to have sex. I'm gonna have sex. He's a lecherous little shit chat. And so the priest, he's telling Van Helsing, like, listen, we gotta send you on a mission. You gotta go kill Dracula. Van Helsing's like, whoo, Dracula. That's a hard one. And then we get a history lesson about Dracula chat. Just watch Castlevania Season 1. You'll get all of it you need. He was Vlad the Impaler. He died. He came back. He was undead, and he's been living in Transylvania ever since. We have this scroll that's a part of this family. I don't know. What's the family's name, chat? What are they called? Valerius. The Valerius family. This is the scroll from the Valerius family. It has some relevance. You're going to have to figure that out on yourself. We don't know what the hell it is. But the Valerius family, chat, they've been fighting Dracula for nearly 300 or 400 years, for a very long time. And the last 2 surviving members are currently in Transylvania, and their fathers disappeared. We want you both to find the father, Father Valerius, and to save his 2 young children. And, Van Helsing's like, okay, I'll do that. Maybe I'll learn about my past. And the priest says, maybe you'll find the answers that you've always been seeking. And Van Helsing's like, I want to go. I want to kill vampires and find out who I was. It's like, great. And take Carl with you. Carl's like, I don't want to go. I'm not a field man. But he's going anyway, chat. And they got all the stuff for the vampire hunting. They got garlic. They got steaks. They got like an automatic crossbow. That's a new thing. There was a minigun in this movie, chat. I was like, were miniguns invented by that time? I guess they were invented by that time. They were used in the Civil War. So they have that. Also, a shit ton of holy water grenades, chat. Just a lot of that. And then they head over to good old Transylvania, chat. And they say it's like, this place is shit. It's not great. The people are very unfriendly. And you know that immediately off the bat when Carl, the friar, and Van Helsing enter town. They're like, we don't take kindly to folks like you, except it's with like a blah, blah accent. And so Van Helsing's like, listen, I'm just here to help. I heard you have a vampire problem. Dracula goes, whoa, Dracula. And, Carl chimes in. He's like, yeah, I just want to help you. But then who walks out? Oh, no, I missed a scene. We got to cut back. We got to rewind, chat. Before this scene happens, we're introduced to the Valerius children. Anna, played by Kate Beckinsale, and Velkin Valerius, chat, played by Will Kemp. Not familiar with Will Kemp. And they're performing a little trap. We have Valerian. He's all tied up on this post, chat. He's being used as bait, and specifically bait to get a werewolf, chat. Apparently, werewolves in this movie, they're servants of Dracula, I guess, except when they're not. And so they do this little trap, and where the werewolf comes at him, and it's like all around him, it's a hole, and so that fucking falls in. He gets caught in a cage. It goes up, and Valerian's like, don't worry, everybody. I have the gun with the silver bullets. Fucking drops the gun immediately. It's like, you idiot. You are shit monster hunters. You need the Belmonts. Where is Trevor, Simon Belmont in here? They could take care of this no problem. But no. Valerian, whatever the hell his name is, Vulcan. I think it's Vulcan, chat. We're going to call him Vulcan Raven from Metal Gear Solid. Vulcan, he drops the goddamn gun. And, Anna's like, Jesus. And she runs up there to save her brother, chat. But it's going to hell. The villagers, they're no help at all. They're just like, let's just shoot the cage. And they just shoot the cage, chat. And, of course, because they shot the cage, it weakens the ropes. The cage fucking falls down. And now the werewolf is chasing after Anna. She's like, God damn it. And so she's running, and she comes upon a precipice. And it's like a huge drop. It's a cliff, chat. There's water below. And the werewolf, it's just running directly at her. But in the last second, chat, the last millisecond, her brother, Vulcan Raven, pushes Anna out of the way. And he shoots the werewolf. And they both tumble down the ravine, chat, in the water. And it's like, I guess that's it. I guess they're dead. And, let's not just go down there and see maybe he's okay. It's like, nah, he's gone. And so, chat, that's how we're introduced to the Valerian children. And then we're back with Van Helsing and Carl. And they're meeting Anna. And Anna's like, we don't take too kindly to strangers around here. And Van Helsing, I just want to help. Jesus Christ. You got vampires, don't you? And as soon as he says that, chat, fucking vampires. Vampires start attacking. Specifically, the 3 wives of Dracula, as I told you, chat, we got black, we got blonde, we got red. And they just want to nibble on all the people, and they do so. And again, the CGI here is not aged well. It just doesn't look. They do that, and again, you know this is a Steven Sommers movie because anytime you have like a monster creature and they focus on their face, they do that weird CGI like really lower jaw thing, and it jiggles. It's like that doesn't work. It looks really bad. He loves that effect. And it's the same thing with the Mummy. That was one of the dumbest effects of the Mummy that continued on through the series, and it's dumb here. Except you see with multiple different creatures. Like, no, I don't want it. No, I don't need that. Especially the vampires, Chad. Oh, it's terrible. Anytime they're like, bah, and it's like, oh, terrible. And so they start attacking the town, Chad. And then we get to this when we realize, oh, gravity doesn't matter. Not that it really did when we saw everything with, Mr. Hyde and everything, but especially here now, where you can fling. Hey, if you're a main character, you got that armor, you're gonna be fine. You can fling Van Helsing through windows and through roofs, and the same with Anna all the time. Shit, like out through barnyard doors and shit. And also cows. If you're a cow, you will live in this movie. But if you are like an extra village person, you are fucked. That's it for you. And so they're constantly getting flung around, and they're okay. There's just one scene in particular, and it's not a great choreographed scene, when Anna is fighting one of the vampire wives. I think it's the blonde one. And she fucking chucks Anna out a window, and Anna does like a weird somersault in midair, and so she like hits a tree, chat, but she's upside down, and so her head just go boom, like right on there, and then she hits every goddamn branch as it goes down. And then she just lands on her feet like a goddamn cat, and she takes off running. It's like, listen, I know that you're exaggerating things, but you can't then have, like, this person can survive all these falls, going through shit, and then don't have them just like, oh, for the sake of convenience, die at the end because they got nudged. It's like, no, that's bullshit. And again, for the sake of plot conveniences, and this scene's chock full of, it's dumb, it's really bad. And so eventually, Van Helsing, he's got the auto crossbow. Also, it's a really dumb scene when Van Helsing is shooting the auto crossbow at the vampire wives while they're chasing Anna. The thing is, he's shooting directly at Anna, and so they're like whizzing past her head. It's like, dude, I mean, I get you were trying to hit the vampires, but you can hit her too, all right? But thankfully, chat, she has plot armor, so she'll be fine. I'm so stupid. What I just talked about? Come on. So he dips it in some holy water, chat, and he shoots the blonde one, and she dies. And then the other two, and this is all so stupid. The two other vampire wives, the redhead and the one with the black hair, they got Anna, chat. It's like, it's over. They're just about to drink her blood. They're like, they're doing the CGI mouth thing, and they're just like, she's dead. Anna's just dead. And I guess they have some mental connection to the blonde wife. I guess they all do. And when she dies, they just kind of freak out and they just leave. It's like, you could have just easily just bit her, turned her into a vampire, or just sucked her blood. Like, it'd been so quick. Again, plot conveniences. So stupid. So they fucking leave. And everyone in the town is like, Van Helsing thinks like, oh, we're going to be welcome. We proved ourselves. And Carl's like, I don't know about that. And everyone in the town comes out, chat, and they're like, why did you do that? Why on earth would you kill one of the vampires? He's like, that's what I do. I'm a monster hunter. I thought I'd get little things for that. She's like, they only take about 2 people a month. And now they're gonna come back for revenge. And there's also this creepy gravedigger, chat. And he has a very weird role in the movie later on. And he's the one that's criticized the most. He was leading the townspeople to kill Dr. Frankenstein, the monster. And he's kind of like, I guess, just a sadist. I don't know his role in the film. If someone could explain that to me, I would appreciate it. Rom, good to see you. And Glee, welcome to stream. So very weird. And then Anna's like, nah, this guy's proven himself to me. Come back to my home. And so she invites Carl and Van Helsing back to her home, chat. And we get a backstory with them. And they're talking about stuff. It's just like everything about my family and my brother. I want vengeance from my brother. And Van Helsing's like, I got you, girl. We're gonna do that. We learned some more about the Valerian family at this point. Carl's like, I'm just going to stay behind and learn more about this healing. Maybe we'll find the answers in this very home. Maybe. Because she also points like at him, and she's like, oh, there's also that map. You see that map over there? My father loved that map. It's so important to my father. He spent hours upon hours upon hours looking at that map. Apparently, it reveals the location of Dracula's castle. Because we don't know where Dracula's been. We've been trying to kill him for 100 years. You don't know where he is. And he just loves that map. Maybe he'll play some relevance later on in the movie. And so Carl's like, all right, well, you guys do your thing or whatever. I'm going to read some shit. Van Helsing's like, well, I'm going to go to sleep. And Anna's like, I'm going to brood a little bit. And so then, chat, later tonight, Anna, she stops her brooding, chat, and she wakes up because she hears some noises in the house, which also happened to be, it's not also the former home of Dracula. It's like, that's a I was like, oh, it makes sense for what happens early in the movie. But it's like, oh, that's interesting. It's kind of like the Belmonts to a certain degree. It's like they kind of take over Castle Dracula every other generation things. And so she hears something wrestling outside, and, you know, she's walking around the house, and she's like, I don't know. But then, chat, she sees some CGI spittle fall on her jacket, and she looks up, and it's a werewolf, chat. Is it the same werewolf that we saw before? Maybe not. Maybe it's a new world. And she's like, ah, and she runs away, wolf chasing her, chat, and then it stops chasing her, and she goes, what the fuck was that about? And then she walks a little bit more, and then around the corner, chat, it's her brother. He's butt fucking naked, but the sister's like, oh, I'm just gonna ignore that. I'm sure that's fine. She's like, oh, brother, I'm so good to see you. And he's like, don't touch me. Don't touch me, Anna. I have little time to tell you about what I've been through and Dracula, but I'm gonna reveal everything right here. The location of Dracula's castle is, and right when he says is, chat, fucking, and then he transforms into a werewolf. Again, CGI wolf transformation, not great. He basically rips off. It's stuff we've always seen in the past, where he rips off his human skin. The wolf form is birthed from that. Like you'll never beat the American Werewolf in London transformation. That transformation, what at this point is nearly 40 years old and still better than this. Like that's an issue. That's an issue. You got to be either as good as that or better than that. It doesn't. But this is kind of cool scene though, because he is. This is kind of cool. I'll give it this. I will give it this. Engineering welcome to stream, because I think we can agree on this. During his transformation, he goes up the wall like Spider-Man, and he's just kind of staying up there and writhing up there. So it's interesting because the werewolf in this movie, he can climb any surface, and that's kind of cool. And it's specifically to because it's on a full moon, of course, and it's specifically to get into the light of the full moon, because if you can transform back into human very quickly, apparently. If you're out of the light of the full moon. So it can still be a full moon that night, but if it doesn't hit you, if it doesn't touch you, then you'll be fine. I think. I guess so, because even at the end of the movie, when we have another werewolf, it's just weird. Again, plot conveniences, chat. So that was kind of cool. I kind of like that part. And then he turns into a fucking werewolf, and it's like, it goes for Anna, chat. But then who saves her at the last minute? It's Van Helsing, chat. It's Van Helsing, and he starts blasting, and the werewolf, it goes running off, chat. And Anna's like, don't shoot him. And Anna's like, get away from me, woman. And then he jumps down there chasing the werewolf, chat. And now he's in the middle of the village. And who does he come upon, chat? It's the gravedigger from earlier, who was very mean to him, who also had the mob, who was in control of the mob trying to kill Dr. Frankenstein the monster. And, you know, Van Helsing's like, aren't you scared? There's a goddamn werewolf outside. And Graves like, he's no worry to me. I'm just digging graves. And Van Helsing's like, is that a good time to dig graves? Yeah, anytime's a good time to dig graves. And then Van Helsing turns around, and the gravedigger just decides, I'm going to kill you now. It makes no sense. I was like, what motivated this? I don't understand. I don't get it. Anyway, he takes a shovel, and he's just about to hit fucking Van Helsing. Van Helsing's like, last minute chef, bop. And the gravedigger's like, I'm sorry, it's in my nature. Why is it in your nature? Are you just an asshole? Are you just a sadist? I mean, I guess it's a sadist. It's very bizarre. It's not explained. But then, chat, thankfully, you don't even have time to think about, like, why was the gravedigger like that? Because he's fucking dead in the next scene, chat. Fucking werewolf comes up behind Van Helsing, takes the goddamn grater, fucking smushes his face, and eats him, and he throws the rest of the dissected corpse away, chat. And also get like a little comedic bit, because the shovel lands perfectly, and the gravedigger's hat lands perfectly on the end of the shovel. It's like, oh, great. And so Van Helsing, he's still blasting, chat. Anna comes like, stop shooting! And then the werewolf, it escapes, chat. And Anna's like, and Van Helsing's like, why, woman? Why won't you let me shoot him? It's like, I can't tell you. It's like, I know it's your brother, okay? I get it. I saw it, like him naked standing there, writhing on the goddamn wall, which is kind of cool. Never seen that before. A little unique. But I know it's your brother. And she's like, did you know that before you shot him or after? And he's like, before. And she's like, no! And she starts hitting him, chat. And he's like, listen, he's a monster right now. We have to take him out. Is this the way it is? You know, I'm gonna make it humane. She's like, I'm coming with you. And, you know, that's what they do, chat. They run off together, and they believe it's going to Castle. I almost said Wolfenstein. Frankenstein Castle. And they run out there, chat. And during all this time at Castle Frankenstein, Dracula, he's about to start his experiments up again. That he attempted to, although that 1 year ago, with the Dr. Frankenstein. He's got Igor, and he has these like little gremlin-esque creatures for some reason. I'm a little confused by them. I don't know what they are, but they're like these, not even gremlins. They're like evil Oompa Loompas, chat. Like, they don't say anything. They go, like, they have that kind of speak. And they're on, like, these all full-body gimp suits. They're like little gimps, chat. They're like little gimps. So you have this little gimp army, and they all work for Igor, and they're trying to recreate the experiment. Oh, I forgot another scene, too. When the blonde-haired vampire wife died, the other two, they go back to Dracula to report. He's mad, chat. He sleeps in an ice coffin, which is weird. It's like he comes out of it, and it's like it breaks apart like ice. Dumb. And he tells all of his little gimps, get those dials spinning, get those electrodes plugged in. We are going to try the experiment yet again. And then in the background here, we see the werewolf. He's going to use on the werewolf, and we didn't know at the time that it was Black Vulcan, but it is indeed Black Vulcan. And so now, chat, we're here. He's getting all the experiments up and ready. He's commanding little gimps to do what they need to do. And then the werewolf, he comes back, a Vulcan Raven, and Dracula's like, what do you have to tell me? It's like, oh, I have nothing to tell you. I won't tell you anything. Oh, you've told me enough. Anna will soon be mine. And he then leads Vulcan to the contraption she's going to put in where Frankenstein originally was in, and we see a body, chat. Whose body is this? And Dracula's like, you may recognize your late father. It's the father, chat. He was burned to death on the operating table. It was a bad way to go because he recognizes the medallion, chat. And Vulcan's mad. He tries to attack Dracula. Dracula's like, no, I'm in command of you, okay? I command all werewolves except when it's convenient for the plot. But I command you right now and all the other werewolves in this movie except for one. So, I'm going to plug you into the machine and use you as a AA battery to awaken all my undead children. Sound cool? Great. Let's start. And so they plug him in their chat, and they're pulling him up to get hit by the lightning and shit, and now work to bring up his children. Meanwhile, Anna and Van Helsing, they're at the castle, they see all the lights going off, and Anna just has a fucking moment, and when she starts talking about over dead family, and how she really wants to see the sea, and Van Helsing's like, this is not the time to talk about that. All right, she's serious and aloof, chat. That's what I was talking about. It's like, no, stay with me. We gotta go to the castle. There's werewolves and some weird shit going on. Let's go. She's like, oh, sorry, I was having a flashback or whatever. It doesn't matter. So they go there, chat. They find all these egg sacs, all these big jellied egg sacs. And Helsing's like, this doesn't look right. I've never seen this before. And then he's like, oh wait, I know what this is. I bet these are all Dracula's children. And then, because when he's banging these wives, they're popping these things out. They're very large, chat. They're probably very prego when they were giving birth to these things. And so I want to be absolutely sure, though. And so he proceeds to then just, the machine goes off, and the werewolf, he's going, blah! And then they see the electricity go into the egg, the jellied eggs, and they start pulsating and shit. And I was like, I'm going to go ahead and look inside one of them. So he starts just ripping this thing apart, chat, and he sees a little baby bat boy. And then behind Anna, you see a little baby bat boy being birthed, chat. He's hatching. But then they're not nice bat boys, and they go, ah! And they attack. They attack Anna, they attack Van Helsing. It's like, oh, that's not good. But Dracula, he hears his little bat boys and bat girls being born. The wives hear them too. And he's like, oh, okay. I had a bug on me, chat. And he's like, oh, gee, oh, they're beautiful. I love them. My wives, go and teach them to feed. Go attack Transylvania, and it'll be great. Be a good action moment. It's not a good action moment. And so they fly out there, chat. And they're all doing their little bat flapping wings. And they attack Transylvania. And Carl, he awakens. He doesn't awaken. He's doing some research. He sees all these things flying around. He's like, oh, I gotta go help the villagers. And so he goes out there, chat, and he starts helping some people. We'll cut back to Carl in a second. And then we go back there. What the hell's Anna doing? Oh, yeah. So Anna, she's like, I'm gonna go help my brother who's a werewolf. And, Van Helsing's like, go and do that. I'm gonna go take care of Dracula. And so she goes up there and tries to get her brother out of the contraption, chat. Meanwhile, Van Helsing, he confronts Dracula, and he gets upper hand him, like, really quick, chat. He gets a stake. Boom! Right in the heart. And Dracula's like, ah! Gotcha. And he just proceeds to pull out the stake. He's like, it's just your stake. And he just throws it away. And Van Helsing's like, oh, shit. And then you get all the monologuing from Dracula. A ton of exposition jobs. Because he just says, oh, it's good to see you again, Gabriel. And Van Helsing's like, what does that mean? I don't understand. And Dracula's like, oh, yeah, we used to know each other, like, in past lives and shit. I'll reveal more and later. But yeah, we used to know each other. You don't remember? He's like, and Van Helsing's like, no, you don't remember. Oh, how adorable. And Van Helsing, he's trying to use as many contraptions on Dracula as he possibly can. Yeah, gets the crucifix. Dracula just takes that fucking thing and melts on his hand like molten metal. And he's like, ah! That's it. He's like, oh, how quaint. Garlic, holy water, all that shit. And, you know, and Van Helsing's like, Jesus, I don't know what to do here. And meanwhile, Chad, we cut back to Igor and the little gimps. And Igor's saying, God, it's not working. It's just not working. The werewolf blood is not going to power the machine. He's not a good battery. We need Frankenstein's monster. And so it all powers down, Chad. Anna gets her brother out, but she really fails. Like, he's like, go, leave without me. And they go. Anna goes down. Dracula's like, oh, what the fuck? The machine turned off. And Van Helsing escapes, Chad. He escapes. And him and Anna, they run out of the castle. Meanwhile, in Transylvania, little town Transylvania, Chat, people are just being picked up, Chat, and they're being nibbled on by all the little bat boys and bat girls. The wives are very happy about this. Carl, he goes out there and he sees this one lady, Chat. She's just about to be nibbled to death by these little bat boys and bat girls. But you thank God for Carl, Chat, because he picks up one bucket, he fucking swings it around, chucks that one in, dead instantly. And Carl, he catches the girl, she falls, Chat, and they just start smooching immediately. It's like, okay, I see what's gonna happen here. But before they can get back to continuing the smooching, Chat, the bat boys and bat girls, we do not like to see love in public. It's awkward. We're gonna nibble on you, and they go right towards the Chat. But then they're overcome with convulsions, and they just pop. They just explode. These little jelly, like little like water balloons. Like, imagine a water balloon placed in a microwave, Chat. That's what you see right here. And the little bat boys and bat girls, they just start popping. And the wives are going, oh my God, our babies! And Dracula's like, fuck, it didn't work. And he's very mad, Chat. The wives fly back to Dracula, tell him about what happened. Meanwhile, we cut back to Carl and the girl. And Carl's like, let's just fuck. And she's like, hell yeah. And they go back to Anna's place, Chat, formerly Dracula's home, and they bang for the rest of the night. Good on Carl, Chat. Good on Carl. He gets more sex, Chat, than Van Helsing in this movie. Carl, MVP of the film. That's what I'll tell you. Oh, yeah, Rob. He said we have the same ring, by the way. Yeah, so stupid. So dumb. So, oh, God. Anyway, God damn it. These bugs, Chad. They got these bugs on me. And they're eating me. So we cut back to Dracula and the wives. They're crying. Igor's like, yeah, I guess we're just not as smart as Dr. Frankenstein. You fucked up, boss. And Dracula's like, no, I'll kill you, but you're right. Yeah, just know what to do. And the werewolf's there too, Chat. The werewolf also ran after... that's how Van Helsing and Anna escaped. They used a grappling hook again. Werewolf tried to get him, but he fell in the moat. And then Anna and Van Helsing ran off. Werewolf reports. Dracula's like, find them, kill them, wherever they are. Just find them for me. And Werewolf's like, yes, sir. He goes off, Chat. Meanwhile, we cut back to Anna and Van Helsing, and they are at the burned out windmill that we saw in the movie, Chat. And they find all the bottles of absinthe, which are perfectly intact, Chat. And Van Helsing, he just started drinking that shit. Anna's just like, I'm going to start drinking this too, Chat. I guess they just drink too much, and they immediately fall through the floor of the windmill into this cave area. And they're like, what the fuck is this? And they see all these dead animal bones there. It's like, this is weird. And then it's Frankenstein's monster. And he starts attacking, Chat. And he's like, why wouldn't you people just leave me alone? I just want to be left alone. And Helsing's like, holy shit. It's very, very disturbing. He's disturbed by this. He fucking throws Van Helsing. He goes after the girl. And Anna's like, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, I just want to live. And she goes like, what do you want? He's like, I just want to live. Just leave me alone. And she's like, I don't care. And she tries to shoot him, Chat. But then Van Helsing stops her. Multiple times. Because Van Helsing, he uses like he has like, I guess, a blow dart gun. And that makes Frankenstein's monster sleepy. And so he gets sleepy, Chat. And I was like, okay, I'm going to kill him now. And Van Helsing's like, no, I'm not going to kill him. He seems nice. And, Frankenstein's just saying, yeah, a year ago, my dad, he died. Dracula killed him. And, because he wanted to use me for evil. He wanted to use me as a big old AA battery to waken up his dead children. I also know, I don't know how I know this, but I know that he has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dead jellied egg sacs that you saw earlier in the movie. I wasn't there, but I know. And he wants to use me to bring them back to life. And Van Helsing's like, that's a lot of information. And I was like, oh, he must never know. And then she tries to shoot him like again. And I was like, stop it. What are you doing? She's like, he's a monster. He's like, listen, I'm talking to this guy. He seems very articulate. You know, he reads the Bible. That's a good sign, I think, maybe. You know, he's got a nice little fursuit on. It's like, I think he's a good guy. And I was like, I want to kill him. It's like, I know you want to kill him, but he seems nice. He seems okay. And then, chat, they turn around, it's the werewolf. And it's like, oh, we're going to get a battle between, is this Frankenstein meets the Wolfman? No. Because the werewolf sees that, Van Helsing or Anna shoots him, and he fucking escapes. And they're like, oh, shit, he's going to report back that he found the monster. That's not good. How would the werewolf know that was Frankenstein's monster? How would he, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. So he goes off there, and then they're like, okay, we gotta get Frankenstein. Like, Van Helsing's like, I am not gonna kill him. I'm not gonna do that. I'm a good guy, even though I have no problem killing monsters. But you know what? I like this guy. He's a good guy. So we're gonna take him back to the Vatican, and we're gonna keep him safe. And so he gets Carl. Oh, meanwhile, Carl, he was banging that lady all night. Yet he woke up and he's stretching. He's like, oh, he had a nightmare. And but then he gets up and he so stupid. He goes to a wall to kind of like, oh, yes, I am quite the stud. And that activates a secret button, and the section of the wall, like, swivels, and he sees this painting in an animated form, chat. He reads it, and it says, oh, a werewolf can kill a vampire. That's convenient. I wonder if we need to know that towards the end of the film. And so we know that, chat. Werewolf kills vampire. So that's why I guess Dracula controls the werewolves, so they won't kill him? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Van Helsing shows up. He's like, Carl, we got to go back to the Vatican right now. And Carl's like, why? And they already had Frankenstein's monster. He's loaded up in the carriage, chat. And Carl's like, oh, God, it's a monster. And he's like, he's okay. He's a nice guy. Go in the carriage with him. Anna, she comes out. She's like, I'm giving you 6 Transylvanian horses. They're far faster than any werewolf. That's bullshit. We'll find out in like less than a minute, chat. And these are the fastest animals on the goddamn planet. And he's like, okay. And then he goes in this chat, and he's like, I'll see you later, Anna. And she's like, I'll see you later, Van Helsing. They got the sexual chemistry going on. It's like, ooh, they want to smooch him. They can't smooch just yet. Not just yet. So, he takes off, chat, and, you know, lo and fucking behold, they're attacked by, what are they attacked by at this point? Oh, the brides. Is it the brides? I think the werewolf and the brides, they both attack, chat. Oh, no, it's the brides first. It's the brides first. That's what happens first. So the brides, they're attacking. Van Helsing's like, ah, shit. And so they're trying to scoop him up, chat. And they're throwing him up in the air, but he comes crash landing down and stuff. They fuck up like a drawbridge that the horses are going towards. And the horses are like, fuck, that drawbridge is fucked up. And they just proceed to jump, chat. They jump over, but the carriage, it falls down. The wives are like, oh, shit, we got to get the monster's in there. So they start diving towards that carriage, chat. We got to get that monster. And so they open it up, chat, but it was a ruse. There's no monster in there at all. And the one wife, she had the sensibilities like, I'm gonna go now. She flies off, but the black-haired one, Chad, she's like, oh shit, stakes! It stakes are like explosive devices. And she's like, ah, fuck. She tries to fly off, Chad, but not gonna work. It fucking explodes. Big explosion. Stakes go up in the air. They pierce her in the back and stuff, and she falls down and burns to death, Chad. Black-haired wife is gone. You only got redhead left. Only good old red. Then, chat, we cut back because Van Helsing, he's riding the fastest animals in the world, even though they're not as fast as vampires clearly at this point. We just learned that. Vampires are faster than Transylvanian horses. He sees there's another carriage, and Anna's on that carriage, and she's got 6 more she probably saved the fastest 6 Transylvanian horses for herself. And so they're running, chat. Van Helsing, he meets up with them. He's like, whew, that is done. Frankenstein, Carl, they're having a good conversation in their chat, but the fucking werewolf shows up, and it's not good. And they get to a wrestling match on top of there. Things start burning. Frankenstein proves how much they had him in chains initially, chat, but he like asked Carl, like, I can save Van Helsing in this scene to prove that I'm actually a nice guy. Carl unlocks him, saves Van Helsing. It's like, it's a good moment. But, chat, it's not enough. Because the werewolf, he's just about to kill everybody, but Van Helsing's like, I'll take him out. And then they do like a weird CGI dodge jump thing. And he goes, pew, 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 pew. He used the pew pew guns like Matrix-esque. And the werewolf, it goes on top of the chat. And he's like, what happened? And they roll off into the dirt, into the forest. And they stop the carriage. And they all get out. And then we see like Anna, she finds Vulcan. She finds Vulcan, chat. He's in human form. Anna goes over and he's like, oh, dear brother. And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And he dead, Chad. He got shot with the silver bullets. And then Van Helsing, he comes stumbling out. He's like, yep, took care of you, brother. Like I said I would. He's like, ooh, my tummy. And then it's revealed, Chad, Van Helsing, he was bit by the werewolf. He, too, will turn to a werewolf. But we learn, apparently, that you don't turn to a werewolf, like, in 3 days. It's very odd. It's like there's a... This is where it's weird, chat. So we know that there was a full moon, like, yesterday in this movie. And now we learned that there's going to be another full moon, like, in 3 days. I don't think that's how the moon works. That's a little weird. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's how the moon works. But they said, yeah, there's another full moon in 3 days. And he's like, fuck, we got to hurry up. Because now, chat, they're on foot, and they take the Transylvania horses, they get there. And now they're in Budapest, chat. They're about to... Oh, no, I'm sorry. During all this whole thing was happening, the blonde, the redhead wife, she kidnaps Anna, chat. She grabs Anna because Van Helsing's tummy was hurting. He was got that werewolf bite. And they take off with Anna, chat, and she goes to Budapest. And Van Helsing, we got to go after her. And they all go to Budapest, chat, and they're like, what the hell are we going to do? And it's like, where are we going to find him? And for the sake of convenience, like, we got to wrap this up quick. We're like the last half hour of the movie here. The redhead says, hi. Funny enough, we're actually having a ball in Budapest. Oh! Toe Down 3, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight? Just reviewing Van Helsing. Having a good time so far. Hope you're enjoying it. Good to see you. Oh boy, more bugs. I do not want the bugs on me. Oh, man. He is very much Van Batman of the gadgets. All right. So she's just like, hey, I'm here. We're having a ball in Budapest. We'll arrange a trade for Frankenstein's monster, and we'll give you back Anna. And Van Helsing's like, done deal. And Frankenstein's monster's like, what the fuck? But it's like, it's gonna be a ruse. It's gonna be a ruse. He's like, I'm not gonna trade you. I'm just gonna get Anna back. But they still knock out Frankenstein for whatever reason, chat, or something, and they put him in a catacomb. It's like, he'll be safe there. No one will find him. No one knows he's there. It's not possible. Because they don't establish that anyone was watching us or anything, that they know he's in there. So, chat, we then cut to later that night, and the masquerade ball's going on. Carl, he's dressed up as a jester. Van Helsing's like, he's got like one little mask on, but he's still got all his gear on too, and they're infiltrating, chat. And they come upon this big old opera, I don't know what it is, but they're on like an upper floor, and they're looking down, and they see Dracula, and he's dancing with Anna. And they're having a good old time. He's like, listen, I lost like a lot of wives. I'm down 2 at this point. I like to keep it a nice 3. Would you like to be one of my wives? We can have such beautiful children. Oh, that Jan's like, no, you're a little creepy. You make my skin crawl. He's like, I wish I could still feel my skin crawl. Again, it's like so over-exaggerated. It's like, stop, please, stop. And then we get this one scene where you realize, like, oh, everyone in the room is vampires, because when we go up to the mirror, chat, only Anna can be seen. But I'm a little confused by this. I never understood this. So a vampire can't be seen. Well, shouldn't the clothes still be seen? Because that's not like vampire. It's not part of his body. But I guess there's like magic shit or something. I don't know. But even with the clothes on, you don't see the clothes either. Very weird. This is the one thing that stuck out to me. So, Van Helsing like, he's touching my woman, and then he goes down there, chat. They also have some trapeze artists like jumping and shit. And he's like, I want to be a trapeze artist, and he knocks one of those fuckers off. And he goes down there, chat. He swings, he kicks this one guy who was at the fire breath. The fucking guy burns Dracula by accident. Dracula's like, what the fuck? And Dracula, he just fucking chucks that guy out of the way. But Van Helsing, he grabs Anna, and they swing right back up there, chat. And Dracula's like, god damn it. He took my future wife, and he's mad about it, chat. But Igor arrives. Don't worry, boss. I got him. And he walks in with fucking Frankenstein's monster. How did you find him? How? And we weren't previously told. We weren't shown that Igor knew where he was. The little gimps. The little gimps, they didn't know where he was. Like, how did he find him? It doesn't make any sense, yeah. But Igor's like, got him, boss. We can go and we can use him as the big old double A battery that you wanted. Bring your dead children back to life. And Dracula's like, hell yeah. Also, vampires, go attack Van Helsing. Chat. He's like, my fellow creatures of the night, I give you Van Helsing! And they all like, and they do the CGI jaw thing, and jiggling, and it's like, that's not look good. And they all go at him, chat. Oh, Carl, he's like, oh yeah, this is in the beginning of the movie. He's like, I built this, like, phosphorus bomb. Apparently, it has the power of the sun inside. I don't know how you did that. I think Donald Trump would be really interested in that technology. He seems adamant about that kind of thing. But Carl built it, and he's like, I now know what we need to do. And he fucking throws that shit. And then Van Helsing, Anna, and Carl, they jump out a window. All the vampires are, they're just incinerated, chat, by this little bomb that hid the power of the sun. And they're all dead. Why didn't you use that on Dracula? I don't get it. All right. Why didn't he kill Dracula at the time? He's in the building. Doesn't make any sense. Why didn't he kill the wife? Doesn't matter. And even it's the power of the sun, chat. That could still also kill humans, all right? I mean, listen, yeah, light hurts vampires. No, I get it. You can kill vampires. But the power of the sun, that could also kill too many I know, Glee. I don't know why I'm asking these questions. I apologize, chat. So they fucking jump out. They get into, like, this moat. And they see fucking Igor. He says, all right, little gimps, row me back to the boat. And they got Frankenstein. Frankenstein's like, damn you, Van Helsing! Damn you all! And all that shit. And Van Helsing's like, I'm going to come get you, Frankenstein's monster. And I'm going to do that. And then, Carl's like, well, I contacted the Vatican, and actually they want you to kill him. And these guys are like, why? We know that he's not evil at all. And he's like, yeah, they're like, but he can be used for an evil act, even though he's not evil. Vatican's like, just fucking kill him. Let's cover our bases. God damn it, Vatican, what are you doing? And also kill Dracula too while you're at it. Oh, who is this? Illustrated, am I saying this correctly? Or Illustrated? Illustrated, welcome to stream. Thank you for the follow. You're my new Huckleberry. Hope you're doing well today. Actually, and Van Helsing's just like, he freaks out. He starts choking the shit out of Carl. And Carl's like, harder. But no, it's not that. And then he gets more wolf-like chatty. His eyes turn yellow and shit's got that really shit CGI yelling. I was like, stop choking him. He likes it. Stop it. And he stops choking him. And he's like, okay. We gotta go back to Transylvania. We gotta get the thick boy AA battery back. And they're like, yes. And so then they're right back in Anna's house, chat. And it's like, tonight's gonna be the full moon too, and everything. It's not great. Carl also drops the fact that I heard that Dracula has the cure for lycanthropy, which is werewolfism, chat. So he has that in his castle. So we can knock like 3 things out. We can kill Dracula. We can get Frankenstein back, Frankenstein's monster, and just because I know this for the sake of convenience, we can cure you of your lycanthropy. Van Helsing's like, fuck it, let's do it. How do we get to Dracula's castle? I'm like, we just don't know. We can't figure it out. And then he's like, you know what? That big old map that you were very adamant about showing me earlier, let's go over to it. Maybe it has something to do with this. And you realize the little scroll he has to be given the movie, chat? It fits perfectly into the bottom of the big old map. And Carl reads it, and he's like, it's a door. It's a magic door to Dracula's castle. Also, we learned that the what the fuck is this family called again? The Valerius. Dracula and them are family. Like the founding member of the family of Valerius, his son was Dracula, but when Dracula became a vampire, he did like, I don't really want to kill you, so I'm just gonna exile you to an ice castle somewhere. And that's what happened. Again, just we learn all this shit in this moment, chat. There's a lot of exposition in this movie. And I guess this is how they got back and forth through this door. It's a fucking magic door, chat, to the ice room of Dracula. And so they're like, let's just step. And they step fucking through, and there's Dracula's castle. It's right in front of them. They're like, that's convenient. And like, okay, guys, so we're going to separate in different teams here. I'm going to go ahead and save Frankenstein's monster, and kill Dracula. You go get the cure for the lycanthropy. And they go out there, chat. But who do they find? They find fucking Igor, chat. And Igor's like, shit. It's a total Benny moment, chat. Because, like, you're going to help us. And he's like, no, I'm not. And they fucking threaten to cut his dick off. I'm not joking. And he's like, I think I'm going to help you. It's like, yes, you will. Show them where the cure for lycanthropy is while I go kill Dracula and save Frankenstein's monster. And Igor goes, hell yeah, boss. Van Helsing. And so they go off and get the cure for lycanthropy, chat. And Van Helsing, he goes off in the right Dracula. And then we're going to follow the Igor bit right now. So Igor, he reveals the location of the cure for lycanthropy. And he's like, it's right over there. It's in that chamber, right in the middle of that chamber. Just go right inside. I'm going to stay out here, by the way. And, a girl, Anna, she goes in their chat. It's like, this isn't a weird globe thing. Oh, E-Mike, thank you so much for the 100 biddies. Hey, Chris, do you remember Outlaw Star? It was a show back in 1998. Well, originally, he was back in 90s. Push back. No, I'm not familiar with it, man. I'm not. Post a trailer for me. Show. Send me like a little link for it, so I know what you're talking about. I don't know. I've never seen that before. And so Anna's like, it's in a big ball thing. This is weird. It's like a big crystal ball. And Igor's like, hey, you should see a little bit closer. And he kicks Carl, and he falls into the little chamber, chat, and he flips a switch. He pulled the right lever, chat. In this case, he pulled the right lever, and he's like, ha ha, you think you get the Igor gets you, ha. And Igor, he runs away. He's locked him in there, chat. And now Igor, he's going to do whatever the hell he's going to do. And now like Anna and Igor, Anna and Carl are like, how the fuck, what is that? And he's like, you know what? I think that's acid. I think that's like weird acid shit, So I don't think we should break it open or anything. We should be very delicate with it. And I don't know why he's keeping this in acid. It doesn't make any sense. But chat, the Red, Dracula's wife, Red, she shows up. She's like, I want to eat all of you. And so she starts attacking chat. But Anna, she breaks the glass, and the acid, all the acid ends up on Red. She's like, ah! She's screaming because it hurts. But she's like, okay, Carl, take the cure, get to Van Helsing, and I'll fight Red. And he's like, cool. And so he also they throw out the acid on the door, chat, and then he runs off. And then we get like a protracted battle between Red and Anna, but then we'll cover that again, because now we're going to follow Van Helsing, chat, and we just get exposition drop, because we learn Dracula is like, oh, hey, you're back, Gabriel. And, oh, by the way, before we start fighting, because now like Van Helsing, he's getting all werewolf-esque. He's like, oh shit, I didn't expect this. You are the earthly reincarnation of the angel Gabriel. You were the left hand of God. You want to know more? And Van Helsing's like, no. I mean, he does, but he transforms into a werewolf. I was like, what the hell is happening here? He's the left hand of God, and now he's mortal. Because also Van Helsing has all these dreams of like, I fought all these battles in ancient Rome and in the Middle East and shit, and I guess he was an angel. And Dracula's like, yeah, you're an angel. And, before Van Helsing asked him the question, he goes, he transformed into the big werewolf, chat. And then we get a big battle between Dracula's vampiric demon form and the werewolf. And Dracula's, he gets his ass kicked. He's getting fucked up real good. Also, I think before this, Van Helsing, something happens where I think Frankenstein, he's knocked free. Oh, that's the other thing that happens. So they get Frankenstein up in their chat. They use him as a AA battery. All the babies, they start to be birthed and shit. They're all flapping their wings. They're all attacking and everything. They want to get out in the feed, chat. They want to get out and feed. But then, Frankenstein, he manages to free himself with the help of Van Helsing. Then we get the battle between Van Helsing and Dracula. It's a 3-act thing, chat. Because then we cut to Carl and Igor. And Igor, he has this little zappy stick, chat. He's got this little kale prod. He's just zapping Carl with it. And, Carl's like, stop it. What the fuck are you doing? And he's still running, chat. But thankfully, Frankenstein, he gets himself out of there, chat. And he starts fucking free-falling. And he's starting to hit all these goddamn wires. And he sees like, oh, that asshole used to make fun of me. He's chasing Carl. I don't like that. And so he goes ahead and swings down there, chat. And he manages to get Igor with his little wire thing. And he fucking pitches Igor over the goddamn edge. And Igor/Benny, he's dead, chat. He falls to his death. He's gone. Poor Benny. So... Frankenstein, monster, he's hanging over the edge, and, Carl, he's just like, hey, and he's like, help me, please, and Carl's like, but you're supposed to die, and Frankenstein's just like, I want to live, man, and Carl's like, damn it, fine, and he's like, I'm gonna push you free, I'm gonna let you swing over to the edge, and again, chat, it's a good moment, who was the man, who was the monster originally, now they're both mentioned, now they're human. Frankenstein's monster is human. And so he pushes him free, chat. And now we also get like a little battle between Anna and the redheaded wife. It doesn't matter. Because then fucking Frankenstein, he flings himself through that goddamn window and he just hits. He hits the redheaded vampire wife. Something happens to her. She dies in some way. I don't recall. I don't remember how she dies. She dies. Fucking Frankenstein just smushes her to death. So we're just gonna go with that. Chris's interpretation so far, all creatures want to live. They all do. They all want to live. That's what it is, man. Just let them live. Let live, my friend. So Frankenstein, he smushes her. And so she dies. Oh no, not yet. He does smush her, chat, but she's not dead. Then Anna, the freaking says, I gotta like take a break here, guys. I went through a lot. And she's like, I'm gonna go save Carl. And so Carl, he starts running. She notices that I think the bat creatures are about to attack Carl. The wife is gonna attack Carl or something because he has the cure for lycanthropy. And Anna's like, I'm gonna use my superpowers to swing across this huge precipice on the wire that Frankenstein was on. And so Carl's like, here you go, girl. And he tosses her the lycanthropy cure. She lands on the edge of, but then Dracula's other wife is there, chat, and she's right on top of her, and she's about to get Anna right there. But then Carl, he also throws a stake to Anna, and she right in the tum-tum. And then Red, she's no more. All of Dracula's wives are gone, chat. And you'd think this would affect Dracula at the moment, but he's distracted because he's fighting for his fucking life, and he is getting his ass kicked by this werewolf. He's like, okay, I can't really overact anymore. I'm just trying to live here. And then at one point, he's like, oh, wait, Van Helsing. Because the moon gets covered, and Van Helsing transforms back into his human form. And Dracula's like, hey, listen, I can reveal the ultimate exposition drop right here. The thing that has motivated you for your entire life to find out everything. Why were you Gabriel? Why were you the left hand of God? How'd you get here? I know all of that right now. I can reveal that to you right now. And Van Helsing, he's like, nah. And he transforms back into the world, chat, and he kills Dracula. He bites him, and Dracula melts away in the terrible CGI, like, melting effect. And he's just dead. And, he's like, well, that's done. And he's, like, freaking out because he's a werewolf, chat. And Anna's like, I'm going to help you. And it's like, nah. And Anna's plot armor, it's run a little dry, chat. That whole swing across the precipice, the fucking vampire wife over shit, yeah, that was it. That drained her of her plot armor. Because fucking werewolf, Van Helsing, she's like, mine, and he just fucking goes right over shit, nudges her, and, Carl's like, oh no! And he walks in there, and he's like, oh shit, it didn't work. And then he grabs the stake, the silver stake. He's just about to get up there and kill his best friend Van Helsing, chat. He's like, yeah! And he stopped. He stopped mid-stab, chat. Stopped mid-stab. And those big puppy dog eyes like, don't do that, Carl. Don't do that. Oh! Witness! Witness me! Nick Diaz, the chat tech. Thank you so much for the raid. How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing very well. Just almost done with my review of Van Helsing. It's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. So, he's like, don't stab me, Carl. And then he reveals that Anna, her plot armor is gone, chat. She's dead. She got nudged. The laws of gravity did start applying to her right here, and she's gone, chat. But she stabbed Hugh Jackman in the tum-tum. And he's gone, oh, and he's like, ah. He's so upset that Anna died. They also smooched earlier, chat. They had a little smoocheroo. But it doesn't matter, because now she's dead. But his lycanthropy was cured. Thank you, Show, for the 20 biddies. Show, I'm sorry. Thank you for the 20 biddies early and the additional 20 biddies. I'm sorry that I missed that. Witness! No, thank you so much, man. And then it's very upsetting. And then we cut, chat. I guess it's days later. And we're at the sea that Anna was talking about earlier in the movie. And they're burning her. They're burning her body, chat. And it's like, it's very nice. And Frankenstein, he's got a raw deal. Because he's on this little shit raft. And he's just, I guess, going out into the open ocean or something. He's got a couple of things. And he's like, man, fuck those people. I hate this. And he just continues paddling out there. And then, while Anna's burning, Van Helsing looks behind him, and he sees the heavens open, and he sees the CGI faces of Anna, her brother Vulcan, and their dad. And they're all hugging and snuggling and everything. He's like, what the fuck? You see the expression on Hugh Jackman's face. He's like, what? What's happening? Because he's Gabriel, chat. He's Gabriel reincarnated, so he would know. He could see heaven. And Carl's like, what you looking at? And Van Helsing's like, don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's nothing. And so then Carl's like, what's next? Van Helsing is like, I got another mission for the Vatican. You gotta deal with all the sorts of creatures. And we're like, oh my God, there's gonna be a sequel. There wasn't a sequel, chat. The movie didn't perform enough to Universal's expectations to greenlight a sequel. And that, chat, is Van Helsing. It is not a great movie. Even I was like, it's probably not that bad. It's probably, there's probably some things that haven't aged. I was like, whoa, I was wrong. There's so much wrong with this film. When it tries to pay respects to the original Universal monsters, it's just undone by the direction, the acting, and the writing. It really was a hard watch. There's nothing really redeemable about this movie. I mean, I like the opening part with the black and white. That was a nice little homage, a little tip of the hat to what came before. But yeah, you could tell that they wanted to make a series of this. I don't know if they wanted to have a crossover with the Mummy. I guess it wouldn't have made sense, right? But yeah, I'm glad this didn't pan out. I'm glad nearly 20 years later, we come to a point where now they're treating, I think, the Universal Monster of respect with stuff like The Invisible Man. Hopefully, more good films in the future. But yeah, guys, I just I didn't care. Maybe this would be worth watching for a laugh to a degree just because of the overacting. So I could see a low rental, but on the DT scale, I think I'd have to give this like a high Sumo bullshit, honestly. I just did not care. Yeah, and the plot. It's a Swiss cheese plot. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I just did not care for it. But that's just me. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, guys, on the film.